In this video, I want to show you how to make a good first-person setup in the Blender game engine using my AwesomeFPS script. So using this script, you're not only going to be create your first-person shooters or whatever you want, like with mouse and keyboard, but you'll also be able to use joysticks, complete joystick input. I'm going to be using a DualShock 4, but you can use Xbox, whatever controller you want to use. You can use whatever. So let's go ahead and get started. This starter blend, I went ahead and set up. Just have a few monkeys with rigid body physics. You can download this in the description, and you can download the script in the description as well. So, first thing we need to do is add a capsule. If you don't have this capsule add-on already, I recommend you get it. You can make your own capsule, but it's easier just to go to YouTube video on my channel, and yeah, just download it there. So go ahead and add a capsule, add a camera, clear the rotation, and just move it just around there. It doesn't even matter, just wherever you want the capsule, and rotate it 90 degrees. And just make sure the camera is going the direction of the green arrow. And then you can parent it to the capsule, but what I like doing is adding an empty at the camera location, parent the camera to the empty, and then the empty to the capsule. You don't have to do this, you can just parent the camera directly to the capsule, but the reason why I like doing this is because if you want to control the camera, since the script is going to be moving the camera itself, you can have the parent of the camera move around, meaning you can make like camera shake and stuff like that, so that's kind of cool. So now, just go ahead and switch over to Blender Game, hop over to the Game Logic view, and let's import AwesomeFPS. Select Capsule, go to Physics, set it to Dynamic, and give it collision bounds. Set them to Capsule. Hit play, and yeah, everything should be good there. So, we'll start up setting up the script. Just put an always sensor. I'm going to name it tick. You don't have to name it, it's completely optional, but just make sure you set it to always true. This way it'll run every single frame of the game, updating the script. Add a Python controller, set it to modular execution mode, type in AwesomeFPS.main. And then you just want to add a motions actuator, set it to servo, and name it movement. And now it's important to name these with capital letters like movement. It has to be typed exactly like this. Can't have lowercase or, yeah, it has to be exactly like that. And then an optional thing you could do, if you only have one camera, then it's fine, there's no reason to do this, but say you have like a first person and a third person, and so you have two cameras, you want to add a property, name it camera, and set a string, and type in the name of the camera that you want to be the first person camera. So like if I name this player camera, and then I type in the name here, the script is now going to look for player camera. If you don't have a property, it's just going to use the first camera it finds that's a child of the capsule. And this thing is recursive, so even if you have an empty, like I do, it'll search the empty's children as well. So it's kind of cool. So we'll start out with keyboard input. And actually, first thing, this is the only required sensor, which is the collision sensor, named ground. This will make sure that it's on the ground so it can actually move around and stuff. So we're now good to use the script. So let's start out with mouse look. Add a mouse sensor, name it mouse look, and set it to movement. Connect it up. We now have a mouse look. It's pretty easy. One thing though, as you can see, we can keep flipping by moving the mouse. So we need to cap it. So there's a property named look cap. Just leave it float and put the angle you want. So I'm going to allow 80 degrees, and now we can actually look around. without flipping. So the next thing we'll do movement now. So let's add a keyboard sensor, name it forward. You can do your WASD keys, whatever, arrows. I'm on Dvorak, so I'm going to use the equivalent of WASD. And right. And now we can move around. I actually missed the left one. There we go. And then you can add run, which I'll make left shift. So now we can actually run around. And then jump. Oh, big space key, or space bar. So that's it. And jumping is very high, so I'll go ahead and increase it. And actually, I'll start at movement speed. So you can control the movement speed using movement speed. And default is 10, I think, or 5. I think it's 5 actually. I'll set it to 20. You should really be able to see this. Yep. And then you have run speed, which I'll set to 30. Yep, now I'm going to go and reduce these. 15 and 10. And then finally we have jump force. And you just set this up to 10 as default. I'll do 13. That's still low. How about 15? Yeah, I think 15 is good. One thing I want to go over is with sprinting, you have to hold the key down, or your run key down. You have to hold it down to sprint. There's a property here. Whoops. It's named run toggle. It's a Boolean, and basically if you set it true, you will sprint just by pressing it once. It activates it until you stop moving completely. Sometimes it's really nice with joysticks like Call of Duty and stuff like that. You just click it once and you're sprinting. You don't have to worry about holding the joystick down. So on joysticks, it's automatically true, but I'll show you how to control it in just a second. But anyway, that's keyboard input. Oh, there's one more property. Mouse look enabled. Actually, there's a couple properties. Mouse look enabled. It's Boolean. This will do exactly what it says. It'll enable it. Turn it on. You can look around. Turn it off. Maybe you want to be able to like use your mouse at certain points. You can turn it off. Next thing is mouse look sensitivity. You just put the sensitivity of the mouse. By default, it's 0.15. But you can increase it like 1, and you have something super fast. Yeah, it's crazy. I like the default 1.5 or 0.15 rather. So yeah, I'll just take it off. And yeah, that's the keyboard setup. So these are all completely optional too, so you can just get rid of them. I accidentally deleted the ground collision. So now I'm going to show you the joystick setup. So you just add a joystick sensor, name it joy movement, connect it up, set it to axis, all events, and then you'll use this to switch between joysticks. So I want to use the left one, so I'll use the first one. And then now I can move around completely with the joystick. And then now we need to look around. So we'll add another joystick, name it Joy Look, connect it up, set it to axis, and use the other joystick in all events. And now I can look around. This sensitivity actually is a little fast. I'm going to end up reducing it in the script, but I'm going to lower it a little bit. So we have Joy Look sensitivity. I'm just, by default, it's 0.2. I'm going to reduce it to 0.1. And the way the script is designed, it actually has a lot of precision. You barely tilt it, you get the slightest movements. So anyway, the next thing is Joy Jump, which I'm just going to use the X button. And then the final joystick control, which is Joy Run, which I'll use the left joystick. And yeah, I didn't connect it. I was wondering why it wasn't working. All right, so now I can run. Like I was saying with the joystick, you just click it in and it keeps sprinting until you stop moving. And you could change it using Joy Run toggle. I separated keyboard and joystick because maybe you want to allow both. You want to allow keyboard and joystick controls. It's kind of easier just to separate it. So yeah, so you have Joy Run toggle, which will control this. So if I set it to false, I have to hold the joystick down to sprint. And if I set it to true, which is the default, it'll just start sprinting once I click it. And that's pretty much the script. A few little properties here you can use to help with developing. You have is moving. These are all booleans. You have is running. You have is on ground. And these properties are controlled by the script, and these will, using logic bricks, you can find out what your player is doing. So let's say I have the is running property, say if it's true. Let's add a monkey. Let's make it like blue or something. And let's rotate it whenever I'm running. So I'll just connect this to the property. So now, whenever I'm running, it starts spinning. And then you can use the same thing with the moving property and the ground property. So while I'm on the ground, it spins. Once I'm in the air, it stops. Then you can obviously invert it using false. So now it only spins when I'm in the air. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. If you have any questions or requests or anything, just leave me some comments, and I'll try to get to them.